the fact that India has witnessed a number of legends in its history. Similarly, other countries have also encouraged legends which they are proud of. An island country in South Asia located in Indian Ocean, Sri Lanka, also has many legends down the memory lane. Not only legends, folklores have also been carried from generation to generation. The most famous folklore, Ramayana, has various versions. It does also have a Sri Lankan version too. This version is going to be explained throughout this document. The so-called demon king of India, Ravana, is also remembered as a legendary king in Sri Lanka. Likewise, Rama and Sita also have their versions which will be explained.
Ravana is described as the demon king of Lanka in the ancient Sanskrit epic Ramayana and also in the other ancient Hindu texts. Ravana is widely considered to be a symbol of evil, but the same story does not follow for the Sri Lankans. For them, he is considered as a great ruler. According to Sri Lankan mythology, Ravana had many qualities that made him a learned scholar. He was well versed in the six Shastras and four Vedas. In the great epic Ramayana, Ravana abducts Rama's wife Sita and takes her to his kingdom of Lanka, where he holds her as a prisoner in the Ashok Vatika. Furthermore, in Ramayana, it is stated that during this time he expressed the desire to marry her. Later, Rama, with the support of Vanara king Sugriva and his army of Vanas, attacked Lanka, killed King Ravana, and rescued his beloved wife Sita. Ravana is considered to be the most revered devotee of Shiva. Images of Ravana are seen associated with Shiva in some places. He appears in the Buddhist Mahayana text, in Buddhist Ramayanas and Jatakas, as well as in Jain Ramayanas. In some scriptures, he is depicted as one of Vishnu's cursed doorkeepers. Ravana was born to the great sage Vishrava and his wife, the Rakshasa prince Kaikesi, in the Treta Yuga. People of Bisrak village in Uttar Pradesh claim that Bisrak was named after Vishrava and that Ravana was born there. But according to Hella historical sources and folklore, Ravana was born in Lanka, where he later became the king. Ravana's grandfather on his father's side, the sage Pulatsya, was one of the 10 Prajapatis or mind-born sons of Brahma and one of the Saptarishi in the first Manvantra. His maternal grandfather was Sumali, the king of Rakshasas and the son of Sukesha. Sumali wished Kaikesi to marry the most powerful being in the mortal world to produce an exceptional heir. He rejected the kings of the world as they were less powerful than him. Kaikesi searched among the sages and finally chose Vishrava, the father of Kubera. Ravana and his siblings were born to the couple.
Like all stories, there's a version that tells a different side of Ramayana. One side gained popularity since Ram is the incarnation of Lord Vishnu, born to wipe out the evil king of Lanka, who became a threat to even gods. Ravana knew he was going to be killed by Ram the day he set out to capture Sita. The reason he did it was because at all costs he wanted to take revenge for the insult his daughter and niece Shubharnakha faced in front of Ram and Lakshman, even if the cost was his own life. This makes Ravan much more of a man for protecting his kin than Ram, who stayed silent while his brother insulted a woman. However, after capturing Sita from Panchavati, Ravan gave her shelter in his own personal palace under a tree and treated her like a goddess in Lanka. Like unpopular belief, he did not offer Sita to become his queen. He was as respectable as Ram in his personality. However, one cannot change the species he was born as. Even when he died, he did it so gracefully and elegantly that he won the war, though he lost the battle. He is portrayed as an evil king who kidnapped and tortured the heroine of the story and gave the hero agony for the benefit of kids who are new to the ways of this world. However, as we grow up, we learn to accept that there is good and bad in everyone and thus learn to expect the way of the world. The people of Sri Lanka, they don't look down upon Ram as he is a restorer of good, but they also worship Ravana for his knowledge and grace. Although position of a god unlike Ram, it is not about nationality, it's all about good and bad. and that we should learn to respect righteousness and refuse evil doing irrespective of our race, religion, caste, and creed. Thank you.
Sita is thought of in various ways in the different versions. I'm gonna throw some light on the Sri Lankan version of Sita. In the Sri Lankan version, Sita is the daughter of Ravana. Yes, you heard it right. The person who abducted her, Ravana, is the father of Sita in this version. According to this, after Sita was born to Ravana and his wife Mandodari, astrologers had predicted that she may become the cause of his death. So he had abandoned her by burying her in a furrow in a plowing field. Later, the king of Mithila, Janak, had adopted her from the furrow. This is how we know that Sita was the daughter of Janak, but in the Sri Lankan version, she was the daughter of Ravana. Then her childhood was spent in the state of Mithila. When she was to get married, King Janak announced a Swayamvar which was won by Ram. So Sita was married to Ram and lived in Ayodhya. Years later, due to the advice of King Dashrath's wife Kaikeyi's command, Ram was sent for an exile of 14 years. Sita, as a true and committal wife, accompanied him. His younger brother Lakshman also went along with him. So here we can know the trait of Sita being a true and committal wife. As commanded by King Dashrath, Ram, Sita and Lakshman successfully completed their 12 years of exile. The following year, a tragic incident took place which triggered Ravan's life. So what happened was Ravan had made up his mind to abduct Sita, his daughter, as a revenge to her husband Ram, because his brother Lakshman had cut Ravan's sister's nose due to her attraction towards Rama, which was unbearable. So Ravan held Sita captive in Ashok Vatika. He did not touch her, though, unless she accepts him. She was kept in his country for 1 year and was fled by Ram. Then, after returning to Ayodhya, there was a grand welcome by the people. As a year passed, Ram came to know that the subjects of Ayodhya were suspecting that Sita might have been defiled by Ravan's touch since he abducted her. So Ram ordered that Sita to take an Agni Pariksha, which means a fire test. After that, though she passed the test, Ram ordered Sita to go for an exile forever. It is believed by the Sri Lankans that Sita had two avatars. One was Sita itself, and the other one was a Maya avatar, which was created by fire when Ravana had come to abduct her. And she was hidden somewhere else. And the Maya avatar was in Ravan's Ashok Vatika for a year. So the Sita which was held captive was the Maya avatar, not her, believed by the Sri Lankans. As she was undergoing that test, the Maya avatar was killed in the blaze and she survived. So this is how she passed the test. Sita obeyed her husband's order and went on an exile, being a pregnant woman. She gave birth to two sons, Lava and Kush, in Valmiki's ashram, where she was sent. Later, Lava and Kush became the king of Ayodhya after the death of Ram. Arriving at Sita's death, she died by entering into the earth due to shame and anger she felt when she was again asked to go through the fire test. So, according to the survey conducted, the points listed below provide the character of Sita. Though Sita was the cause of Ravan's death, the Sri Lankans do not blame. On the contrary, they blame Ram for he had suspected his wife twice, who was an idol of sacrifice and purity. Sita is thought of as a true wife for her immense love and affection towards Ram and all her sacrifices for him. In fact, a temple is constructed in Sri Lanka based on Sita. Sita's attitude was humble and caring. She faced a lot of challenges after her exile, for she was suspected by her husband and her purity, but she proved herself. So the Sri Lankans also do believe that Sita was courageous and brave. They also think that she didn't get what she deserved as she died by entering into the earth again due to the suspicion of her husband.
An ancient rock located in the northern Mantle district near the town of Tambula. According to the ancient Sri Lankan chronicle, this site was selected by the king Kashyapa for his new capital. The name of this place is derived from the structure Singhayar, the lion rock. Several rock shelters or carves were created during this period. Rock inscriptions are carved near the triplages on many of the shelters, recording the donation of the shelters to the Buddhist monastic order and residences. They were made in the period between the 3rd century and the 477 CE. Kashyapa I, the king's son, by non-royal consort, seized the king's nephew and army commander. Most of the elaborate constructions on the rock summit and around it, including defensive structures, palaces, and gardens. Alternative stories have the primary builder of Sigiriya, Kashyapa, finishing the work in honor of his father. Still, other stories describe Kashyapa as a playboy king, with Sigiriya his pleasure place. Archaeological remains and features. John Still in 1907 wrote, "The whole face of the hill appears to have been a gigantic picture gallery. The largest picture in the world, perhaps the paintings would have been covered most of the western face of the rock, an area of 140 meters long and 40 meters of height."
In ancient times in Sri Lanka, king built a great tank in the northern province. There was a boy near the tank called Kala. Once a rainy day, while he was walking in the bank of the tank, he noticed a tiny leak of the embankment. He noticed this tiny leak was increasing. He didn't have enough time to take people to repair. He put his head to the hole and stayed there the whole night. He died of this incident. People believe that he was reborn as a god. Also, the tank was named after Kala by this day called Kala Viva.
Sri Lanka is a country that has great historical records and a great civilization and a rich culture that dates back to thousands of years. So it was blessed with good oral and written literature. Many of the folk stories in Sri Lanka have been built up by illustrating this historical value. The legends of Sri Lanka are also well celebrated across the world. Sri Lankan history also has influenced the world, so it has become crucial to know about it and acknowledge it. Thank you for listening to us talk about the legends and folklores of Sri Lanka. We hope you enjoyed the show.